Hi, everybody. As promised, here is the format of how James and I are doing our electronic caregiver parties. So in the beginning, we'll have this first slide up on the screen, and then we'll have the host or the point of service come to the front of the room. They will introduce us, tell them their experience with electronic caregiver and why they invited their friends and family and why they feel that it's important. At that time, they will bring us up, they'll bring me up, and I will start the beginning of the presentation. So I'm just going to do this like how I do it at the in front of our audience. So first of all, I just want to say thank you, you guys, for all coming. I'm so excited to have you here. Vince speaks very highly of you all. So I just want to thank you for taking the time out tonight to learn about electronic caregiver. You guys are one of the first in Washington State to learn about this amazing product, and we're excited to be here. So at this time, I'm going to tell you a little bit about our company. First of all, I want to introduce you to our CEO, Mr. Tony Dorman. And the slide should go. There we go. So Tony Dorman is the CEO of Electronic Caregiver. He actually started in the security industry back in 1999, recognizing that falls were the #1 reason while citizens were losing their independence and moving out of their homes. He decided he wanted to make a difference and started researching and found that electronic caregiver was going to be most beneficial, which you guys are going to hear about more. Did you guys know that falls are the #1 cause of Now, how many of you guys knew that 18 hours is the average time that somebody else is, when somebody is found when they've fallen? For me, why I'm so passionate about electronic caregiver is because I truly feel that if we had electronic caregiver when my grandmother was alive, she would still be with us. She fell and she broke her collarbone, and they didn't find her for 8 hours later. And with the technology that you guys are going to see here in a little bit, you're going to see the value in it. So just some things that you need to know about falls. Slips and falls are the main cause of injury for older people in their home. Every 11 seconds, an adult is treated in the emergency room for a fall. Every 19 minutes, an older adult dies from a fall. And again, 18 hours is the average length of time before they discover somebody. And falls are the leading cause of fatal injury and the most common cause of non-fatal trauma-related hospital admissions among older adults. So thankful to our, thank you, Tony Dorman. His answer to being able to help with this is electronic caregiver. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of some of the highlights on our electronic caregiver premiere series. First of all, we've got these pretty stylish wrist-worn pendants. Looks like a Fitbit. I actually was at the airport and somebody had noticed my electronic caregiver and asked me what kind of Fitbit I had. It's resulted in being able to capture and have her on as a customer because it didn't look like what I call as a garage door opener on the wrist. They really, really like the look of it. It's waterproof. It can be worn in the shower. Long range capabilities, it could be up to 400 feet away from our main unit. It's light, attractive, and it can be worn 24/7. Because it doesn't look like an emergency button, our clients love wearing it, and it comes in all these different colors that you see here on our little display. We've got 24-hour activity detection. So it's going to confirm activity twice a day to ensure that who's ever wearing our pendant is actually, there is activity from 5 a.m. to 10 a.m. or 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. If they're not a morning person and their times are, we can always customize those times. In the event that somebody might be unconscious and there's no activities, this allows the EMTs to see that, and it will allow them to call that person if there's no response, or call their family, the emergency list, to make sure that they are okay, and if they want somebody sent out there. We have help with medication management. So it's also when we enter a client, we enter all the medication. So it provides medication reminders. So they actually will get the reminder on this pendant right here. They'll get a little bling, 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 and you guys will see that here in just a little bit, but they get that reminder. This is always also, if they don't respond to that reminder, then they're going to know that something is wrong. So they're going to call their emergency contact. They're going to try and contact the patient to make sure that they are okay if they do not respond to that medication reminder. We are GPS based. So anywhere in the United States, Hawaii, Alaska, when they have this pendant, they're going to be able to know exactly where that person is at. We had a gentleman in Auburn who has dementia, walked out of his home. They weren't able to find him because he had a device, but it was not GPS based. So a lot of that could have been prevented had he had our electronic caregiver. We also have a family caregiver app, Care for Mom. So you can carry this on your phone. Now I have this, my mom has a device, and I'm able to see where she's at if I'm not able to reach her. Call her and leave her a message on her app, on her device if she's not answering her phone. It's just a safety guard, and it makes our loved ones feel more happy. There's a 90-year-old that's actually has our device. She still loves to drive, and her daughter is extremely loves the fact that she can track her mom to make sure she's okay, especially when she gets lost when she's out there driving. So Family Caregiver app is an amazing feature that we can provide and offer. We have 24-hour access to emergency response facility. So they're going to notify the responsible parties when a wellness check is going to be needed to be done. If a medication management, for example, medication reminder has not been acknowledged, or the activity detection, they're going to call that person. They are going to notify emergency services during a crisis, and they are going to stay on the phone with that person through this device until a responder is right there next to them. So they want to make sure that our customers and clients are extremely comfortable until they get the help that's there. We've got Pocket MD, which is also another amazing feature. You've got 24-hour access to board certified physicians, physician assistants, dermatologists, anybody that you need to speak to in the middle of the night, or 24 hours a day. So instead of going to the emergency room or the doctor's office and saving money on co-pays, you can actually call Pocket MD and get an assessment over the phone. We have my sister-in-law, my nephew had an ear infection, and in the middle of the night, rather than going to the emergency room, they called Pocket MD, did an assessment over the phone, and they were able to call a prescription for him in the middle of the night instead of waiting at the emergency room for 2 or 3 hours. So this is really, really valuable. We have a few customers who do not have medical insurance, and they actually signed on, and they love the fact that they have Pocket MD and can talk to a physician through their device or on the phone without having to go to the doctor and spend a lot of money. Another thing I like about electronic caregiver is that we're not only helping our older population. Our youngest customer is 4 years old. Take a look and see. How awesome is that? I love the fact that we're able to help so many people, not just our elderly. We've got a lot of health enthusiasts, sports enthusiasts that are actually using our device. You know, here in the Pacific Northwest, a lot of women, you know, my husband and I were walking on the trail, jogging by themselves. Being able to have a device like this and keeping them protected is extremely important. We've got real estate agents, women who are showing homes by themselves. I have a friend, he went and showed a home and there was a bunch of squatters in there, was able to push the device and get some help getting them removed as a safety device. College students, distracted young drivers, children of divorce, so many people can benefit from using our device. Our kids have this device in their school. It's sad to think about with the active shooters, you know, nowadays. But I feel comfortable because my kids are protected at the push of a button. They're going to be able to get the help that they need. So at this time, I'm actually going to show you guys our devices and how they work. So here you see the gray pendant, and this is the main device right here. And this gray pendant can be up to 400 feet away from this unit and it'll still work. If you have somebody outside working on the yard or in the garden, they can push this button. I have somebody broke their ankle, push this button, and it'll call the unit. If they don't get a response and they need help, they're going to send somebody out there to make sure that that person is okay.
To cancel this call, press and hold the emergency call button for 3 seconds next. Your call has been canceled.
We talked about Pocket MD. Now, Pocket MD is, you know, at the push of a button for 24-hour access to a physician. You push this bottom square little button right here.
Dialing Pocket MD now. To cancel this call, press and hold the square button for 1 second.
At your fingertips, you have an opportunity to speak to the doctor, like my sister-in-law did, to tell them about my nephew having an ear infection. With Pocket MD, I forgot to mention, you can have up to 7 people in your family in the same household on Pocket MD. So it's a great feature. Another thing that I find most valuable is our fall pendant. Now, had my grandmother had this fall pendant, she probably would be with us today because she broke her collarbone, and after she moved out of her house, her health declined and she was never the same again. So when she fell, she had a life alert. But what do you do when you're unconscious? Her life alert button did not, she couldn't push the button. So with this technology, it'll just, they fall, and it'll detect a fall. Now with that, how amazing is that?
A fall has been detected. Dialing the emergency response center now.
So you will get a live operator coming through the system.
Hello, this is Aria with Same-Day Dealer Demo Unit. We received an emergency alarm. Do you need assistance?
No.
If this had been an actual emergency alarm, we would have sent assistance to your location. This call is now complete. Have a great day.
How amazing is that?
Thank you.
And we had actually talked about having that Care for Mom app. On the Care for Mom app, if there had been a fall, anybody that has on the Care for Mom app, they would have been alerted on their phone that there was a fall. So with this, as you'll see, they can check on their family member or send somebody out. But this is also, they can leave a message.
Hey, I noticed that your fall pendant went off. Is everything okay? Give me a call. Love you.
So they will send a message through here. They can call their family member. That is also how they get medication reminders. Just incidentally, they'll hear that bing, bing, bing. But your family member will know when there's been a fall. So with that, these are our amazing devices. And at this time, I am going to bring my husband up here so he can give you some more fun information. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. How are you doing? I'd like to ask you a question, and I ask this question every single time to every single person that I meet. Are you proactive or are you reactive? And at this point, the audience says, yeah, we're all proactive. and I say, I'm going to prove that not to be true. All right? So I say, can we be a hero today? How many of us in this room have someone that we know of, that we love and we care about, that could utilize a device like this? And so they participate, they raise their hand, and I go, is there one? Raise your hand. Two, raise your hand. 3, 4, 5, and I just basically get it up to right around 5 to 7, and then I say, okay, and I move forward. I said, well, that's exactly what this device can do. Here are some of the things that we do. Just for the referral of those people that you love and you care about, that you think that can utilize this device, we offer a $50 gift, a Visa gift card. We send as referrals to protect the ones that you love, presentations, and I basically cover this slide and what we go through on this particular slide. Then I tell them at this particular point, the best thing about this is that our equipment is free. You don't pay for any of our equipment. How does that sound? And generally you get some type of reaction for free. Oh my goodness, this one they paid $300, this one paid yada yada, whatever. Just roll with that as it goes, because we know we by far have the best plans out there, the best product out there, period. Push the screen and say, we have no hidden cost. The things that I'm gonna talk to you about are gonna cost you between little and nothing, and I can show you cost should never be an issue. Our automatic fall pendant, the one that we just demonstrated to you, that's a $25 optional fall pendant. It's a great option if you have anyone falling or anything of that nature. So I skip and move past that. Tell them that we have the one-time activation fee, but don't worry about that, because if money is an issue, we can get that squared away as well. Everyone in this room has said that they know at least one other person besides themselves that could utilize this device. So with that other person signing up, so 2 of you signed up, we'll sign you up as a tandem, and we will waive the activation fee. So price is no longer an issue. Is that correct? No longer an issue, right? So I move to the next slide. And how they earn. If they don't have someone that they can come with them, then I walk through this slide right here. 1 referrals this, 2 referrals this, 3 referrals 20%. And then I go back 1 slide. And I said, you remember that activation fee? And that person that you signed up with you? Automatically, when both of you sign up, you get that 20% off free without having to utilize any referrals. But we do want your referrals too, so we can go ahead and talk to those people and protect the ones that you love. Up to the next slide. Guys, we're just like any other business. We want a 1-year contract. Of course we do. But with us, what sets us apart is that you can cancel anytime. If your loved one that you've protected passed on, moved away, or no longer likes the device, we will not hold you for that contract. You can stop whenever you're ready. And I know that's not popular, but it sets a lot of people at ease. And to know that if their loved one passes, they're not going to be hounded for that extra bill that comes along with that, right? And I think all of us would love that. So I move to the next slide, and I give them this. And I say, now remember that if you referred your 3 people or you signed up as a tandem, we're going to cut that price by 20% each one of those numbers. And I walk them through it. The first one's roughly $12. The second one's roughly $10. And the third one is roughly $8. And I go into explaining to them how we protected our family and why we protected our family that way. That's why I said, and I posted, has everyone's POS got this device? Because you cannot, I don't care what it is, if you cannot believe in a product if you don't use the product yourself. There's not a person on this earth that can testify to a product if they're not using it or if they haven't used it. That's why it's important that every single POS has this device. Everyone in your family needs to have this device. Does that make sense? It's just smart business, and it's just smart ways of doing it. So I go down the list of what each unit costs and of what each unit has so that they understand it. Then I kick to the next slide, and I ask them, don't we all want to become a hero today so that we can protect and care and love and protect the ones that we love about and keep them out of hospitals, keep them out of the nursing homes, and most importantly, keep them out of the cemeteries? This is something that we can do together. We as individuals and representatives of Washington State, we can't do it by ourselves without your help to protect the ones that you love. We can't save all the lives that are necessary to save. I move to the next screen, and literally, I take questions from that particular point. I leave this up roughly 3 to 5 minutes, and then I go ahead and brand us back into electronic caregiver. It really is just that simple. We don't do anything more, anything less. And at this point, people are signing up. They're doing what they do, what they feel is necessary in their heart. And that's our whole presentation. Now I don't know how to cut off this thing, so Eileen's going to do it.
Okay, guys, if you have any questions, just let us know. Have a good night and God bless.